The floor was still wet when she stepped in. Polished marble, reflecting the ceiling lights like a mirror, the kind of shine only hours of hard labor could create. Daniel kept his head down, mop in hand, the way he always did. It wasn't shame, it was survival. When you're a single dad with rent due, a sick kid at home, and a job that barely keeps the lights on, you learn quickly that attention is dangerous. Attention leads to questions, and questions lead to judgment. The conference hall was filling up fast. Executives in tailored suits, assistants with tablets, interns pretending not to be nervous. This was a corporate town hall, big deal stuff. Daniel was supposed to be invisible, clean, quiet, gone before the speeches began. But she noticed him, her heels clicked sharply against the floor as she stopped mid-conversation. A woman in her early 30s, perfectly styled, confidence dripping from every movement. She glanced at Daniel, then at the wet sign, then back at him like he was a stain that refused to disappear. "Seriously?" she said loudly, not even trying to lower her voice. "They have janitors cleaning now?" During an executive event. A few heads turned. Daniel froze. "I almost slipped," she continued, laughing lightly as if this were entertainment. "Do you know how expensive these shoes are?" Daniel swallowed. "I'm sorry, ma'am. I was told to finish before." "Before what?" She cut him off. "Before you embarrassed yourself?" A couple of people chuckled. Others looked away. No one intervened. She crossed her arms. "You people always have the worst timing. Don't you understand professionalism?" Daniel's grip tightened on the mop handle. "You people." He'd heard those words before. From teachers when he picked up his daughter in worn-out boots. From parents at school meetings. From men who thought money was the same thing as worth. "I'll be out of the way in just a moment," he said quietly. She smirked. "You should be out of the building. Honestly, how hard is it to do one simple job right?" That was when someone whispered, "Hey, that's enough." But she wasn't finished. "Maybe if you focus less on whatever mess your life is and more on the floor, you wouldn't be here forever." The room felt smaller, hotter. Daniel's ears rang. For a split second, he thought of his daughter, Emma, sitting at home with her homework spread across the table, waiting for him to come back so he could quiz her spelling words. He thought of how she hugged him every night and said, "Daddy, I'm proud of you." He exhaled slowly. Then something unexpected happened. The lights dimmed slightly. A microphone squealed as the host stepped on stage. "Ladies and gentlemen," the host announced, "before we begin today's keynote, we have a special moment." Daniel looked up for the first time. The host scanned the room. "Is Daniel Reyes here?" The woman laughed. "Which one? There are probably 10 Daniels cleaning bathrooms right now." A pause. "Daniel Reyes," the host repeated louder, "our facilities manager and community outreach coordinator." Silence. All eyes turned to the janitor with the mop. Daniel hesitated. Then slowly he stepped forward. "Yes," he said, "that's me." The woman's smile faltered. The host beamed. "Daniel, would you mind joining us on stage?" A murmur rippled through the room. Daniel walked forward, each step steady, each breath controlled. He set the mop aside, took the microphone, and when he spoke, the room changed. Backhand index pointing right. If you're feeling this moment already, don't forget to subscribe. Stories like this remind us that respect matters, and you won't want to miss what happens next. Chapter 2. Daniel's voice wasn't loud. It didn't need to be. There was something grounded in it, something that commanded attention without force. The kind of voice shaped by responsibility, loss, and quiet strength. "I wasn't supposed to speak today," he began. "I was supposed to clean up and leave." A few nervous laughs. "But something happened just now that reminded me why I agreed to work here in the first place." The woman stood frozen, pale. Daniel looked out at the crowd. Most people see a uniform before they see a human being. A title before a story. A paycheck before a purpose. He paused. "I'm a single father." The room stilled. "My wife passed away 4 years ago. Overnight, I became everything: dad, mom, teacher, protector. I took this job because it gave me flexible hours and health insurance. It let me be there when my daughter had nightmares, when she had fevers, when she needed help believing in herself. He glanced briefly at the woman, not with anger, with clarity. I clean floors, I fix lights, I take out trash, and I also built the maintenance scheduling system this company uses today. I mentor 3 interns from low-income backgrounds. I coordinate our volunteer programs on weekends. Gasps. The host nodded. Daniel has turned down promotions multiple times to stay close to his daughter. Daniel continued, I don't need applause. I need people to understand something. He lifted his head. No job makes you small. No uniform makes you invisible. And no amount of money gives you the right to shame another human being. The silence was heavy, uncomfortable, necessary. The woman's face burned. She opened her mouth, but no sound came out. Daniel handed the microphone back. Thank you for listening. The room erupted. Applause thundered. People stood. Some wiped tears from their eyes. The woman left before the keynote even began. Later that evening, Daniel returned home. Emma ran to him. Daddy, how was work? He smiled, kneeling to hug her. It was important. She grinned. I knew it. And in that moment, Daniel knew something too. He had always been heard. People just needed to listen. Red heart if this story moved you. Subscribe to the channel. Every story you hear here is about real strength, real struggle, and real dignity. Your support helps these stories reach more people who need them. The applause faded, but the impact didn't. For the rest of the day, Daniel moved through the building like a man walking through a dream he hadn't asked for. People who had never looked twice at him now nodded with respect. Some stopped him just to say thank you. Others avoided his eyes entirely, embarrassed by how easily they'd ignored him before WY the next morning. The video was everywhere. Someone had recorded his speech. Not the confrontation, the truth. His voice, his calm, his strength. Single dad janitor silences room with one speech. Man in uniform teaches executives a lesson they'll never forget. Respect has no job title. Millions of views. Daniel didn't even know until his phone wouldn't stop buzzing. Home. Emma sat beside him on the couch, her legs tucked under a blanket, scrolling through comments with wide eyes. Daddy, she whispered. They're talking about you. Daniel exhaled slowly. I know. Are you in trouble? He shook his head. No, sweetheart. I think people finally listened. She smiled, proud in a way that made his chest ache. My teacher shared the video. She said you were brave. Daniel hugged her tight. You're the brave one. But not everyone was applauding. Across town, the woman, her name was Claire Whitmore, sat alone in her high-rise apartment, watching the same clip on repeat. Her face burned with humiliation. The comments were brutal. She deserved it. Money can't buy class. She thought she was better. She wasn't. For the first time in her life, Claire couldn't outrun judgment. She had built her identity on control, on being sharp, untouchable, superior. And now, one man she had dismissed as nothing had stripped that illusion away with a few quiet sentences. She didn't sleep that night. The next morning, Daniel was called into the executive office. He didn't panic. He didn't rehearse excuses. He just straightened his jacket and walked in. The CEO stood and offered his hand. Daniel, he said, thank you for reminding this company who we're supposed to be. They offered him a promotion, a big one, a title, a salary that would change everything. Daniel listened, thought of Emma, thought of evenings at the dinner table, thought of presents. I'll accept, he said, on one condition. The room leaned in. That we don't forget people once they're out of sight. The CEO nodded. Deal. Weeks later, Daniel stood in the same hall. Not with a mop, but with purpose. He launched a mentorship program. Better wages. Real respect. And one afternoon, as he walked past the lobby, Claire stood there. No heels. No audience. Just a woman holding her pride with shaking hands. I owe you an apology, she said quietly. Not for what you said, for what I revealed about myself. Daniel studied her for a moment, then nodded. Apology accepted. She swallowed. You didn't destroy me. He replied calmly. No, you just met yourself. She watched him walk away, changed forever. That night, Daniel tucked Emma into bed. Daddy? She said sleepily. Are you famous now? He smiled. No, baby. I'm just heard. And sometimes, that's more powerful than fame. Glowing star, if this story moved you, subscribe to the channel. Stories like this remind us that dignity is louder than arrogance, and real strength doesn't shout. Your support helps these stories reach hearts that need them.